Okay. So our family. Is there any languages we speak other than English?
There is nobody in our family that speaks anything other than English. I know a lot of us, including yourself, have taken different languages. You took Spanish. I know a lot of people have taken Spanish in class and have spoken it in school, but really no one speaks any other language outside of English, unless they were taking it for school.
Yeah. So any of our relatives our ancestors have they been famous or done anything big?
Do you mean outside of me? I'm just kidding. Who was famous? The most famous we have, and I'm not sure if this is a good thing for people to know, but you've heard this before, but Pop's dad, who he really didn't know, he left Pop's family when Pop was younger than 5. He was a famous pool player, and they actually made a movie after him, The Hustler. And he was Fast Eddie was what they called him. I think the movie was called The Hustler.
Yeah,
it was either that. Okay. So he would make his living going around hustling people at pool, basically beating them at pool. And his most famous thing outside of the movie, but it was part of the movie, was that he beat the champion before Minnesota Fats, who was one of the most famous pool players of all time.
That's pretty cool. Is there any military heroes or anyone that was in U.S. services?
Yeah, I mean, I consider anyone that goes into the military a hero. So we had quite a few in my family. Uncle Mike served in the Navy. Uncle Jim was in the Air Force, and Uncle Tom was in the Navy as well. And then on Mommy's side, we had Uncle Larry was in the Navy. And then we currently have a couple of cousins who are in. Shawnee is a Marine, and I think right now he's back in Carolina, but he spent some time over in the Middle East. And then cousin Chris is over in Kuwait today. He's in the Army. He actually drives a tank, so he's in a very dangerous role. He's in Kuwait, which is safe right now, but that's very close to some of the other dangerous countries.
Yeah, and that's scary to think that with ISIS and everything right now going on there, but I mean it's kind of died down currently.
It hasn't, but but they're very dangerous still, and if we ever do end up going in on the ground, there would be a good chance that cousin Chris would be there on the ground. I do think that his term is not, his 4 years. Actually, the Army, I think, is 3 that he signed up for. Is not that far away, but we don't know yet if he plans on staying in longer than that.
Yeah. Is there anything that has happened to us that we never really figured out why it happened, or?
I have 2 brothers that both had brain tumors. We kind of wonder, what's the chances or the likelihood of having that happen in a family. When the second one, my one brother passed away, and he was 30, and my other brother is currently 55 or 56, around there, and he's had it for about 12 years now. But we always wondered, how could 2 people in the same family get it, and often thought that it was possibly was there something in our house? My dad was a Philadelphia fireman for about 10 years, and then he worked at the refinery, so he was always near toxic stuff. We asked the University of Penn if they would do a study on our family, but they wouldn't do it with 2 cases. They said if there's a third, come back and talk to us, basically. But so that mystery. Every family has illness and wonders why it happens. But to have two brain tumors was kind of unique, and we just don't know why. And they were two totally different kinds. My one brother had his. It was aggressive. They gave him 6 months to live. My older brother had one that's usually found in children that's curable, although he is permanently disabled from it.
So is there anything that's happened to anybody in our family that was kind of something to laugh at or embarrassing happened in public? Or
I'm sure there's a ton of things. I'm sure there's a ton of things that even you could think about me, but we're not going to go there. The one brother of mine that seems to always be doing something silly, or, well, he does silly things intentionally, but he's also done some quite embarrassing things. And the one that I can think of off the top of my head is we were down in Florida once on a family vacation, and he had like 3 different things happen the same day. One is we were at a restaurant. He was walking across, and his leg hooked into a woman's pocketbook, and he literally walked with it for like 20 or 30 yards without knowing it was there, and she got a little mad thinking he was taking it. That same day, actually, I think it was earlier that day, we were at the pool at our hotel and had these sliding glass windows, and he was looking out, and my dad at the same time was closing it, and he got his head caught in the window. He's looking out. I'm in the pool. I'm looking up at him. That was kind of funny. And the other thing that happened that day is he stepped on a ketchup package, and it squirted out onto somebody else, and so that person got mad at him too. So that all happened one day in Florida.
That's funny. So like, how did your parents meet? Or do you know like how Mom's parents met, or your parents, or even how you and Mom met?
Yeah, and it's kind of similar for all of us, because we all met in high school. So my mom and dad met when they were in high school. So did Pop and Grandmom, and then Mom and Dad did as well. So we're all young. We all were together for a long time, and still are. And for Mom and I, the funny thing too was that our parents were actually friends. Our moms were actually friends prior to us two dating, but all of us met during our high school years.
Cool.